Why is Forbes magazine talking about the Dodgers? And why should Dodger fans care? Next on Dodger Fan Weekly.
Welcome to Dodger Fan Weekly.
I'm Adele.
And I'm Adele.
And this is Dodger Fan Weekly.
Spring training. What has happened since our last baseball game and what's happening now?
And to help us talk about that is Howard Cole. You know him from the Orange County Register, LA Weekly, and now with Forbes.
So without much ado, Howard Cole.
Howard, welcome to the show.
We are thrilled to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
Because you are such a huge baseball fan.
And knowledgeable baseball fan.
And a huge Dodger fan.
That's right.
And so much has happened with the Dodgers since the last time you were here. Let's start with the obvious. We lost Matt Kemp. We lost Dee Gordon. Let's talk about Kemp first. Was that a big, huge loss for us, or was that a good thing?
Well, everybody's talking about chemistry, and they gave up $25-30 million to get rid of him. I'm going to miss him. You're not going to hear me say anything bad about Matt Kemp.
Well, I know you're a fan of his.
I am a fan of his, but it's done. We'll move on. He's in San Diego. Hopefully Puig will move back to right field. If Jock Peterson can cover and stay, make the team and play center field, starting with opening day.
Right.
And hopefully Carl Crawford in left, tuning with Van Slyke, and we'll see.
Just staying on the outfield, kind of crowded outfield thing.
Because it's still crowded.
You didn't mention Andre Ethier at all.
Right.
So what's your take on the Andre
I'm
Ethier crowded
an Andre
outfield?
Ethier fan too, and I think he can bounce back. But they are talking about trading him, and there was a rumor this week that they offered, or that they are willing to give up to pay half of his salary to whoever takes him, half of $28 million.
Well.
And
Dodger Fan Weekly has our own opinions about that, so we'll talk about that another day.
We will.
No.
So let's talk about our lineup. What do you think about the lineup?
Okay, well, Mattingly came out this week and said that Rollins is likely going to be the leadoff hitter, which I think is fine. He's not an ideal leadoff hitter, but he's the best they have.
Okay, that's what I was
He runs the
gonna
bases
ask.
well, and he steals bases well, percentage-wise. There was some thought about putting Puig in the leadoff spot. That's just...
They tried that before, and it wasn't.
Yeah, well, he
necessarily.
can't run the bases. You can't have him. You see him single the lead off the game and then get picked off or something. You can't have that.
Yes,
That's true.
those mistakes, darn it.
The talk is we did the trades to upgrade our defense, and so
Well,
has that been a big improvement?
They have absolutely done that. Rollins is 36. Howie Kendrick is, I think, 31. But that's a very solid middle of the infield. As long as Uribe can stay healthy and play 125, 135 games at third,
Right.
and Adrian Gonzalez at first, that's a pretty solid infield.
Right.
So I'm happy with that. Defense is important, and I totally in agreement with that philosophy.
We did lose offense. We lost Hanley Ramirez, Kemp. Do we have a bat? Do we have something?
Well, they've also said, we'll save runs, but we'll make up for the loss of those two guys in other ways. And they'll get more offense from behind the plate with Grandal. And Ellis will hopefully be healthier, and he won't have to catch full time, which I think will benefit him. They can platoon, and I think we'll get a lot more from behind the plate.
Now, speaking of Grandal, if we can stay on that for a moment.
Yes.
Nobody seems to want to talk about his suspension for steroids. They talk
Right.
about the great seasons he's had, and his best season was the one before he got suspended.
What is your take on this?
Well, I don't like that either. I prefer that they stay away from those guys.
But is he a good catcher? Is he somebody that's
Well,
filling in?
he's respected for his pitch framing,
Okay.
which is an issue for A.J. Ellis. And you know what? Pitch framing is important. Stealing strikes is important. Overall, I don't think he's a great catcher.
Okay.
He's an okay catcher. He does not throw that well. And both he and Ellis have trouble with pass balls and stopping wild pitches. That's a problem.
Okay.
So, defense behind the plate will be better in some ways, the same in some ways. And having Ellis healthy will make a big difference behind it.
Right. Our 3 starters, Ryu and Kershaw and Greinke, but
Hopefully.
4 and 5, it's a little more shaky. I mean, we
Alright.
got a whole bunch of pitchers.
2 and 3 could be shaky too, injury-wise.
Well, that's true.
Well, I'm worried about the rotation, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So tell us your
I'm
worries.
horrified by the, just if they got 2 guys, 4 and 5, that are always hurt, and
And those 2 guys are?
Brandon McCarthy
Uh-huh.
and Brad Anderson. And both bullpens from year to year, even if you keep everybody the same from year to year, they don't replicate. And sometimes you can have a bad year with some of your bullpen guys, and they'll pitch better the next year, and vice versa.
Right.
Right.
And specifically about closer, Kenley's out, but do you think they'll find somebody that will be a closer until
I don't
Jansen
think
comes
so.
back, or they'll rotate?
I think they're going to go with what they have.
And so, speaking of what they have, the Dodgers kept Brandon Leake, who is now he's given up alcohol, he said, and doesn't need it in his life, and is
Right.
training harder. Do you think he had a good year last year? Do you think he could step in as a
He
closer?
was good and bad, like a lot of guys. I'm okay with him. I mean, he's overpaid, but that's life. So he's got Alex Guerrero, $28 million for 4 years. They may trade him. Maybe he'll get hot. He's already started off pretty well. You've got Eric Bueno. I think they still owe him about $15 million, and he was already released and picked up again. Brian Wilson's gone already. That's $10 million straight into the trash. They were happy to get rid of him. They've got Ethier's contract to deal with, and Lee, another $7 million for him. To the extent that these guys still have value to the team now, they'll make those decisions as they go along, and the rest of them, they're gonna have to eat those deals.
This is the stuff that Sportsnet LA and the insiders can't talk about.
Right.
And so we're so happy to have you here to be able to have some healthy criticism. It's not dissing the team. I mean,
Right.
we're still Dodger fans.
Is Don Mattingly going to have a big voice in who's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
make the final 25?
Yeah, they'll all
man?
get together. They'll work well together, and I think the new Friedman and Zaidi, they're going to work better with Mattingly than Nick Liddy did.
And have your feelings changed toward Don Mattingly at all?
Well, spring hope's eternal. It's a fresh start. It's
It is.
one more
The
year of
flowers are
experience.
blooming,
One more year of experience under his belt, and he's going to bunt less apparently, and we'll just see.
Yeah.
Bring me back here in May, and if I'm horrified, I'll tell you.
Okay. Can we assume you like Jock Peterson?
Well, I haven't seen enough of him to like him, but I trust the reports that I've read, and he played well in the minor leagues. He was great in the minor leagues, and we'll just see. Don Mattingly said we're not handing him the keys to center field, but he's probably going to be the opening day center fielder. If Peterson doesn't work out for some reason, they're screwed in center field. They'll probably, if that happens, they'll have to move Puig back to center,
Right.
and
which
if
was-
Ethier's still on the team, he'll play right.
Right.
But I think they're going to give, even though they say they're not giving Peterson the keys, he's going to play
He's
center
got them.
field. And they'll let Heisey play against certain left-handers,
Right.
and
Well,
they'll give him April and May, and we'll see.
And we still have Van Slyke, right?
Still events like, I don't think he can play center field at all. I wouldn't stick him out there for 30 seconds, but he'll, in a pinch, he can play there for a game or part of a game, and they'll use him in left field to platoon with Crawford if he's still here, and here meaning not on the disabled list,
Right.
and with Ethier if he's
Still here with the
Right.
Dodgers.
A fan favorite on the Twitter world, but just on the street even, is
Red
Turner.
Yeah, I
Just
knew you were
Turner.
going to say,
Yeah.
Red Turner, who lost weight and apparently worked out at Dodger Stadium with Jock Peterson during the off season, and
Yes.
and actually Peterson stayed with Turner for a period of time
Oh, interesting.
when he was in town, and so he's lost weight, and not that he was overweight, but he's rededicated himself. Nobody expects him to hit off the bench like he did last year. I mean, he was just incredible with the pinch hitting.
Yes,
and,
he was.
and,
Quite a surprise.
Playing third base when Uribe was out. They'll still use him there. And they're talking about using him all over the infield. If they need him at shortstop, they need him at second base, even first base they've mentioned for him.
Wow.
And then we have Darwin Barney.
Darwin Barney, who they'll play him a little bit at short. He's a really good second baseman. We'll see if he can play short as a backup. It's possible that Alex Guerrero will make the team as the same type of player as Barney. Well, he could be the 25th man. He's not a great defensive player, but he can play a little bit of short, second, third, and even in the outfield. But they expect him to be a stick. So if he ends up still on the team as the last guy, then Barney's the odd man out. Otherwise, Guerrero, they're going to trade him and possibly, pick up some of his salary to whoever gets it.
What do you think about the deal with Sportsnet LA and somebody? Anybody?
Oh, well, obviously, I think it's horrible. There's all these talks of mergers, and they have to get through the FCC. We'll see if they work it out. But it's conceivable we go a whole second year without any TV.
Which really seems outrageous.
It's outrageous.
That
Because
2
the
years in a
fans
row.
are losing out again. Anyway, we're so thrilled to have had Howard with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's been just terrific, and please come back again.
Go Dodgers.
Howard Cole.
It's nice to have someone on with a different perspective, an unbiased opinion about the team.
Right. Someone who can speak freely because they're not showing up on the team-owned network.
Right.
And, cheerleading. And it's great, and we're Dodger fans, and we always will be, but it's good when you're a fan to be able to be critical, right? You're allowed to be. And it's spring, so we will be back. We're Dodger Fan Weekly. We're going to come back every week, all season long. Tune in on YouTube. We're on Twitter all the time.
We believe.
From day one. So I'm Adele.
I'm Adele.
See you next week.
See,
When the season starts.
yeah.